Hey there, Durham Region. The spring market is officially upon us, and I wanted to share with you my predictions for what we're going to see over the next 3 months. Now, it's been a crazy run up to this point in the year. The first 3 months have seen kind of some unprecedented price growth in the area. Will we continue seeing that over the next 3 months? What's going to happen on the listing side, the sales side? Stick with me after this intro to find out my predictions. Hey everybody, it's Rob Marsiglio again from the Robert Marsiglio Realty Group, based out here in Durham Region, serving Durham, Toronto, and York Region. Today I want to share with you how I think the next 3 months are going to shake out in Durham Region. Before we get into my predictions, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're enjoying the content so far. Make sure to like this video and share this, favorite it, just so you can come back in 3 months to see how right or how wrong I in fact was. Traditionally, spring market is when we start to see a flood of inventory. Sellers have it in their psyche that they're going to wait to list to spring because they feel like that's when price growth has hit its peak and they want to get the most kind of bang for their buck. They want to get the most money for their home, and as they should. So in terms of the listing side, my predictions for spring 2022 is that we're definitely going to see some inventory relief. I do see listings kind of on a more traditional trajectory going into this spring, peaking probably sometime in May in terms of new listings for that month, and then maybe tapering off in June, and then as we get into the summer and summer holidays, leveling back out to kind of what we see in a normal year, that little peak in the spring and then a tiny peak maybe later on in the fall. Will this bring down prices? Stay tuned a little later on to find out in the video. But again, I do see listings creeping up. We're not going to see the big peak in March like we did last year. I think the peak will be in May sometime. Now, we're already about 500 listings behind the pace up to this point last year, and I don't see us peaking out at that 2,600 listings we saw in March of 2021. Even when we get into May, I can see it getting back to kind of those historical low 2,000s total listings for the spring. So my predictions are listings will keep climbing until May sometime, and I think we'll peak out kind of in the low 2,000s new listings for that month. My next prediction has to do with the number of sales we're going to see in Durham Region over the next few months. Again, I see that number creeping up. There is still a lot of buyer demand in the market. Sales are always a bit of a lagging indicator, so as listings creep up, you'll see sales start to creep up usually about a week later. I do see them again peaking in that May, maybe even June, if there's some spillover into that month. I think we borrowed some sales from this year, last year, if that makes sense. So we kind of saw unprecedented and historical sales numbers in 2021. I don't think there's any chance at repeating that. There is still high buyer demand, but again, I think we'll cap out at probably, 75% of the sales that we saw last year. So my sales prediction as a recap are that we will keep creeping up, probably hit the peak in end of May, early June, and it'll be about 75% of the sales that we saw last year in the spring market. Lastly, the big one that you're all waiting for is prices. What are prices going to do? Can they keep going up like we've been seeing them go up for the first 3 months of the year? And my short answer to you is no, I don't think so. While there is buyer demand, I do truly believe that we've kind of hit that sales growth that was driven a lot by a lack of supply in the market. As we start to see a few more listings, I know buyers will start coming back, but I just don't see this rampant, 10% month over month price growth. I think, we may see it level off completely. If anything, maybe up 1%, down 1% for the 3 months of the spring market. So as a result, you may even start seeing more listings where you're not competing on offer nights as much. You're seeing sellers actually listing with their true intentions, a little bit more balanced of a market. I'm not calling it a buyer's market altogether, but hopefully the indications and the expectations of the sellers are outlined a little more clearly for buyers. So it's a little easier going in and buying that property. So again, prediction for sale price in Durham Region for the spring market is that I think we've seen the peak. We're going to start to taper off a little bit, maybe down 1%, but I think hold pretty steady for the next few months. So there it is, my 3 big predictions for the Durham Region market. Comment below, let me know what you think is going to happen. Do you think I'm way out to lunch? and make sure we check back in at the end. I will definitely be doing a recap video, and either way it's going to be funny. We can either say awesome job, Rob, or it'll be a great self-deprecating video that we can do then. So please consider subscribing to the channel, like this, whether you agreed or disagreed, comment down below what you think, and I look forward to seeing you at the next video. Cheers.